Hello YouTube, my name is Sly. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this reaction. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, here we go.
We're going to look at the Harry Potter casting with exactly as expected. So I don't know what to expect here. So let's check it out, shall we?
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Geeky is back.
And there it is, guys, the casting announcement for the live action Harry Potter. These are the kids. And unsurprisingly, Hermione is not white. Oh my God.
Shocker. Never would have guessed that.
Seen that coming.
I know. Hermione black too.
Everybody. That's fine though. We're gonna talk about this because well, okay. So it's going to open up a can of worms just like it does with Snape because Hermione is the target of, I guess, racial discrimination because she's a mudblood. Mm-hmm. So it's going to make the show a little more uncomfortable for some people.
Oh, that's cringe. Did they really change all the half wizard people to black people? That is so cringe. Yeah.
I believe then if they had maybe, if you're going to race swap some characters, some of the other characters, I suggested Morgan Freeman as Dumbledore. I would have been okay with that. I mean, I like John Lithgow, but Morgan Freeman is...
I'd like to see that. Morgan Freeman as Dumbledore, that'd be good.
Dumbledore, that would have been pretty badass. I would have been okay with that. But, yeah, so it's gonna make things very, very awkward, I think, in some cases. And it'll be interesting to see if this... supposedly very faithful adaptation.
Well, what I'm getting from this is so mudblood or half-blood prince mudblood. That means you're not white.
Yes,
that's what they're giving with this.
Wow, that is not what that means in the book. Yeah, this definitely feels like DEIs all over it. Ugh.
The only characters that got swapped, as far as I can tell,
so far
that we know of, the main cast, the only characters that got swapped for black folks were the characters that were picked on for being mixed or impure, right? I mean, that strikes me as being potentially problematic.
Yeah.
I mean
Hermione, we already knew they changed her for the stage show.
I mean, that's what this feels like, doesn't it? They're like, I hate to say this, but it's almost like they've taken something that meant that you're not pure magical blood and made it a race thing. That's disgusting. Right. I can't believe they would do something like that. But then again, this is probably a DEI project, so it doesn't really surprise me.
Before.
Yeah.
That was likely going to be the case here. Snape, though, that was really out of left field.
Yeah, Snape was really out of left
field. Into left field? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, this whole thing, and the thing is that the Snape casting hasn't made anybody happy. Like, look, they're, and I said earlier on Twitter, one, I want to be very clear, I feel so bad for these kids.
Yeah, no matter what happens, these kids are going to get so much crap.
They're going to get it from all sides. Mm-hmm. And they look like a cute bunch of kids, and they're all like, oh, they have no idea.
Excited. Yeah, I hope
they're all
excited. Are extra vigilant and making sure that they keep them protected.
Yeah, that's a good point. Them doing that is going to open up a whole can of worms those kids don't need to be a part of. You know, making them subjects or something like that, be scrutinized over for something like that. Why?
Yeah,
that's a nervous flag.
I mean, we had people going after Rowling. They were going to go after her kids. We had, and that's on one side of it. And then you're going to have people being mad about the changes on the other side. So it's like these poor kids are not going to be able to catch a break. Hopefully, they're being paid very, very well. For all the therapy they're going to have to go through years to come. But
apparently, according to Gigi and I forget what his name is right off, but they race swapped everyone who was half-blood for black people, making that term mudblood mean something racist when it was never meant to be that. That is totally disgusting and inappropriate. People should be ashamed of themselves for doing that. Especially in this day and age, you know? Yes, it is. That's very disgusting. As a society, we should have moved past something like this already, and I thought we had. I know, right? I wonder if the investors even know they did that. That's the question.
We'll talk about this. I think this is one of those cases where you're not going to make anybody happy. And the only way to win is maybe by not playing the game in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, let's not reboot Harry Potter. But, we have to because money. Warner Brothers needs it desperately. We'll see if this works for them. I don't know. Anyway, before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
The memes already. I love this. Grok, change them into the regular cast. They were thinking, Radcliffe and Watson, and instead they just they did here. Actually, the kid in the middle looks like me when I was a kid. Kind of.
Oh, yeah, kind of from what you explained.
Yeah. And all, Pedro Pascal.
That was funny.
That's fantastic. I love this comment though here. Dragon Academy says, never seen these three in anything. Why not pick people with more experience? Other people will complain.
Yeah, I know, right? That could have a massive negative effect that I'm sure that studio doesn't want. There are movies that were made back in the day just for their humor that can't be made nowadays because of that stuff, so. And to blatantly do something like this goes way out there. And these people really should be ashamed for that.
You didn't see the original three in anything before they were in Harry Potter either.
Other people were complaining they look young. They're like, why do they look so young? Why do they look like they're like 11?
Yeah,
I'm like,
have you read the her books?
Have you read the books? It's like, have you read the books? Anyway, they look like cute kids, right? Ron's a ginger. So there you go. The Weasleys are going to be ginger. Unless he's adopted in this one. I don't know. Variety, Harry Potter HBO series cast Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Oh, it's HBO, not Warner Brothers doing it. Yeah. I would expect something better from HBO, They've had some pretty good series in the past. I would expect better from them. They should know better.
Well, some of the family might not be, ginger. They might be black because they're the same thing.
Yeah,
the internet has decided that we're basically the same thing. So it could happen.
Yeah, that's what I like to know, Gordon. How? Why? Hopefully they'll get into that, but.
So when they get married, it's not
two gingers. Yeah,
there you go. Right. So I don't know who any of these kids are. So this is Dominic McLaughlin is Harry Potter. Arabella Stanton is Hermione, and Alistair. Oh my God, that's the most British name I've ever heard.
Names. I love
Alistair
names.
Stout. That sounds like a headmaster at Hogwarts.
I don't know. It does. I love their names. They have great names.
Alistair Stout.
I love their names.
That's gonna be my next next time we do tabletop and I make a new character. His name is gonna be Alistair Stout. I don't know what he does exactly. But that's a damn good name. That's better than
they all
one.
have really great names. I'm like,
Arabella Stanton. Yeah, they do. They all have very regal sounding names. More than 30,000 actors auditioned for the lead roles, including a grown ass man who wanted to be Hermione. He was like a 42-year-old man.
He identifies as young, so.
Really? A 42-year-old man want to play a teenage girl? I'd probably with as cute as this is, they didn't do something like that. Oh boy.
I'm gonna assume though that if they auditioned that many people, that these were the kids. That's a lot. That's a lot more than even the first one was crazy, but 30,000 kids. So this summer, they're going to do the filming after an extraordinary search led by casting directors Lucy Bevan and Emily Brockman. We are delighted to announce we found our Harry, Hermione, and Ron. The talent of these three unique actors is wonderful to behold, and we cannot wait for the world to harass them. I mean, witness their magic together on screen. We'd like to thank all the tens of thousands of children who auditioned, and also that 42-year-old man. Sorry.
I'm sorry, woman. It's ma'am.
Girl. It's trans age.
That's true.
It's been a real pleasure to discover the plethora of young talent out there. Maybe they can get some extras or something.
If only
so yeah, they said Harry Potter is going to be Alistair Stout's first.
If only aging was really that simple. I'm not old. I am a trans-age teenager. I was going way out there.
Role. Stanton was Matilda in Matilda the musical, so they actually do have some credit. Mm-hmm. And McLaughlin was in Grow, and I don't know what any of these. I have no idea, but they can act, right? So, it does potentially open a can of worms. I don't know. I think they look like a cute bunch of kids.
Well, go for it. Go Alistair. I mean, he auditioned with all his people and ends up getting to be in Harry Potter. I mean, that's kind of awesome.
It's like, what you do? Where do you go from there, though? Like, it's my first role. What are you doing? Oh, I'm in Harry Potter. It's like, holy hell. So yeah, it does potentially raise some questions, though. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: like, there's like absolutely, there's no way to win this one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I for the sake of the kids, I hope this is like the best effing thing ever. Now, I do know, and
that makes a good point, Gore. You make a good point. All those kids that went to audition get to say, hey, you're not dark enough to play a half-blooded wizard or partial-blooded wizard. Can you imagine what that makes somebody feel like? How creepy of a statement that would be to make to somebody? Especially a kid. Hey, these people. And something's got to be done about DEI. This is getting way out of hand.
I've said before, the people that worked on, or they're working on this one, to the best of my knowledge, the same bunch that worked on His Dark Materials. I love the books. Yeah, they did some race swaps. It was fan freaking tastic. I thought.
Yeah, it still worked. If it's the right person that you can pull it off, you can. And I don't care. That being said, I don't care how good an actor that's replacing Snape. It's not going to work because that is the one character that was like
described.
Yes.
I mean, the Malfoys for sure are going to be pasty ass white folks. That would have been an interesting choice, though. Let's make the Malfoys non-white.
We haven't cast the Malfoys yet.
I don't think they have. That would be amazing.
Don't speak too soon.
I don't know.
I have to check that out, or maybe they'll mention it here. I know it's another adaptation of the Harry Potter books, so how faithful it is to the books, obviously it's not gonna be that faithful, but. And who knows, maybe they just copied the script from the original movies. It'd be interesting to see. But just because of what they did, I don't think I'd watch this series. Because I don't want to feel cringy while I'm trying to enjoy something that's supposed to be fun, you know?
No, I mean...
You're going to be Asian. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know what? That's the thing. Here's my thing. Whenever you hear about diversity inclusion, how come it only means black people?
I don't know.
We have to make it diverse. Yeah. So we added black people. Why? I mean, what and about lesbians. Other characters?
You can't forget, and sometimes both.
It was always diversity usually means lesbians or black people. So yes. I'm just like, well, if you're going to do diversity, where are the people, other kinds of people that you're going to put in here? Because I'm hoping that the Malfoys are like something that's not white, because You know, I'm just tired of this whole thing.
That
We
would
have to
be
make it
interesting.
diverse and inclusive. And what we mean by that is we made somebody a lesbian or black.
True.
I thought it was really interesting, though, in the MCU Spider-Man that they made the bad guy. He's not really a bad guy, but Flash Thompson, they made him Indian. Was he Indian?
Yeah, something like that. Like,
I thought that was a very interesting choice. But the thing is that, like, I know people were mad about, but like after a while, like if you get the right actor, you don't really see it. Where it's going to get complicated with Harry Potter, though, is because there is this undertone of racism with.
Unless they're just leaning into it.
That could be too. I mean, they might be like, you know what? That's the perfect allegory. But here's the thing. J.K. Rowling, she said as much. I mean, she's just cashing those checks. She's a producer, but she doesn't have any say in the casting. She was like micromanaging the casting.
J.K. Rowling's the producer on this? Seriously? I was starting to feel bad for her. But now it's like, ugh. Why is she doing this to herself? Does she like causing negative controversy? I mean, seriously, that's a dumb move on her part. Well,
the first time around, I remember that. But I'm also like, I micromanaged the casting the first time, and all three of those little MFers threw me under the bus.
Yeah, right.
So I feel like, but yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna feign, like getting like, oh my God, guys, the world is ending. I can't believe that they've got black people in Harry Potter.
We all knew that was going to happen. Like, I don't think anybody expected anything differently. I mean, they already changed it.
I love this though. James Earl Jones. R.I.P. That would have been amazing. Could you imagine him with the voice and the whole thing? They could still do it. He's so.
Yeah, one would assume so, Gore. Unless he just needs the money for some reason, but to sabotage her own IP like that, you know? Now, I can understand race swapping some characters, right? Especially if the book doesn't give, like, very good descriptions of them. But that's one thing about the Harry Potter books. They go into, like, deep descriptions of what the main characters look like. And to see something else on the screen can be kind of jarring if it doesn't match up, especially if you have read the books. But, yeah, I know, right? It does make one question what she's thinking and what... Or maybe all that DI stuff just got to her head and brain rot her. Who knows?
Sold his voice.
No, I don't think they're going to do that, but yeah.
They should get some like skinny ass white kid to play Snape and then do the James Earl Jones voice just to throw people.
I don't think they're going to do that. But I mean, we all knew Hermione they were going to make her black. We all knew that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's shocked over that one. Snape is the biggest shocker of the casting so far, but there does seem.
Now, Hermione does make sense, because I think in an interview at one point, K.K. Rowling did say that, yeah, I would too. It'd be hilarious watching James Earl Jones' voice come have a little kid. No, but in an interview, she said that she originally intended for Hermione to be a black girl or a colored girl, but why I don't know if she just said that to get people off her back, or her editor decided to change the character, but that doesn't make sense. Why would the editor do that? I think she just shooting herself in the foot. Oh, yes. Emma was a great actor. Those kids that did the Harry Potter, they were great actors. But all JK is doing right now is she's shooting herself in the foot. She's opening herself up for more controversy, more of the hate and stuff that came from the last one. It's just gonna be even worse now, because there's gonna be all kinds of people calling her racist now, especially since she's the producer on this thing. It's just sad. The whole thing is sad.
Seem to be, as people are bringing up, a little bit of a pattern here that all the characters, especially half-blood, whatever, mudblood, as they say in the show, are so far black. So you really need to diversify some other characters here.
That might be the point. I don't know. But then if that's the case, it's like this show's going to be a lot more loaded, I think, than the books. Because you're going to have, Snape getting hung from a tree by Harry's
I know.
dad.
Or they're going to take a lot out, which, you promised.
But you promised it was going to be like the books.
Uh-huh.
So
you
what
promised to be very hyper accurate.
What are you doing here, right?
So far, it's not very hyper accurate, but okay.
I mean, Hagrid, I think, was a great. I mean, honestly, most of the casting choices, I think, have actually been pretty okay. I don't know. It was interesting. We were talking to a family friend, and so Squid King went to Epic Universe last week for the opening. And
he's going to come on eventually and talk about it.
He's going to come on eventually and talk about it. But it's interesting because they're doing all the sets and everything from the current movies, or from the new one is based on Fantastic Beasts, I guess, the new world.
The new land is, but the ride is based on the original.
Because Fantastic Beasts was a massive failure. The first one
they did the city in Paris from Fantastic Beasts, but the ride itself is a Ministry of Magic, and it's using Umbridge and stuff. So
but she's awesome. Umbridge is awesome.
I know. So I'm saying that's not going back. The ride itself is not. Fantastic Beast.
But okay, so they spent all this money to build the 3 Harry Potter lands. They're
just talking about Umbridge, right? Who'd be the perfect person to play that? Frogan. That's because in the books, he described that being very frog-looking. That'd be hilarious. Not that I want to share in a movie, mind you. I just thought that'd be a funny point to make. Yeah, I know, right?
For those of you who don't know, at Universal, there's a Harry Potter land in each one of their theme parks.
Yes.
But they're all based on the current movies. So I was like, okay, so they're going to reboot Harry Potter. Are they going to keep the sets basically the same so they can reuse the lands and then just pop in some new Potter kids or something? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
It's going to be really weird if everything is totally different on the show. And I don't know.
Well, I think the Hogwarts and all that, it's gonna be similar in appearance,
I mean, it's a Scottish castle. What can you only do so much with it? It would be wild if they used the exact same damn sets. They're like, you know what?
They even have the same sets.
No, they do. It's actually an exhibit or something overseas. You can go see it.
Well, then I would.
Just save some money, guys. Just go dust off the sets, and apparently you can go see Hogwarts or whatever. The Harry Potter experience. I don't know what it is. But everybody's complaining about how young they are. I'm like, did you see because
they start out.
They were
young.
10 years old when they were cast, the original trio.
Yeah.
Right. I don't understand why you'd say that. They look awfully young. It's like, yeah.
Kids grow fast, and that's one of the biggest issues with especially at that age, from 10 to 15. One of the biggest problems with TV shows, especially, is you can tell between seasons, this kid's getting really big, so we're gonna have to bring in a baby now to cousin Oliver and get a cute kid in here again. People were surprised that Ron wasn't race swapped. Hermione looks book accurate. Actually, I that's not actually her.
Oh, that's a serious thought, Gore. Especially because if you remember Voldemort and Death Eaters, granted, Voldemort himself is a half-blood. I wonder if you're going to make him back, too. That's another thought. You got to remember that they all hate the half-bloods or the mudbloods. And if they're all going to be black now, right, you're going to have a bunch of white people hunting down to kill black kids. That's a whole mess of worms I don't think anybody wants to see. They're going to equate that to the lynchings back in the day. Back before civil liberties were equal and stuff. Right. Very true.
Whatever. I just feel bad because Hermione's like the most insufferable character anyway. But there we go. So I don't know what else to say. I feel bad for the kids. I think they're going to get harassed.
Don't do that.
Do not do that. I think
don't harass the kids.
I think it's completely
I don't care
unfair.
what side you're on, and we know which people are going to be more likely to do it. Don't harass the kids.
Yeah, I know exactly who's the most likely to harass them, given the other actors getting harassed. But we're talking about children. Leave them alone. Anyway, there it is. We'll see. We'll see how it does. I don't know. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that took a twist I was not expecting. Ugh. Like I said, I do feel sorry for those kids because they're gonna have to live with that. What were you thinking, people?